My Weirder-est School, Book number 5. Mr. Marty Loves a Party. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Pelot. Chapter 4. May the Force be with you. It felt like 1,100,000 days until my birthday finally arrived. It was a sunny day, so that meant we could have the party in our backyard instead of inside the house. Yay! Outdoor birthday parties are way more fun than indoor birthday parties. That's the first rule of birthday parties. About 9 o'clock in the morning, a truck came and dropped off 3 porta potties in our backyard. It didn't occur to me that if you're going to have a bunch of people over to your house, you're going to need more bathrooms. Wow, I'm glad we hired Mr. Marty, said my mom. He thinks of everything. That's why he's the #1 party planner in the area. I guess he's also the #2 party planner in the area, my dad said. Then he started cracking up even though he didn't say anything funny. The porta potty said Mr. John on it. My parents told me that toilets used to be called Johns. Nobody knows why. I'm just glad my name isn't John, because then it would be like I was a toilet. Soon the doorbell rang. My mom went to answer it. And you'll never believe who poked his head into the door at that moment. Nobody. Poking your head into a door would hurt. I thought we went over that in chapter 2. But you'll never believe who poked his head into the doorway. It was Mr. Marty. He had the mini Marty sock puppet on his hand, of course. Happy birthday, AJ, said Mini Marty. You're going to have a fabulous party. Are you folks excited? This is going to be amazing. Darth Vader will be here any minute. The pizza should be here at noon. Blah, 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 blah. He went on like that for a while. Mr. Marty gave my parents some papers to sign, and they gave him a credit card to pay for the party. While they were doing that, the doorbell rang again. I'll get it, I yelled. It's probably Ryan, Michael, and Neil. But it wasn't, my friends. You'll never believe who walked into the door at that moment. Nobody. Aren't you paying attention? We just discussed this a few sentences ago. But you'll never believe who walked into the doorway. It was Darth Vader. Yes, the real Darth Vader. Well, Darth Vader is just a character in the movies, so there's no real Darth Vader. But it was a guy in a real Darth Vader costume, and that's pretty cool. He was tall and scary looking, and he had his lightsaber with him. I couldn't believe the famous Darth Vader was standing right in front of me, staring me in the face. Happy birthday, Darth Vader said in a plain old regular guy's voice. Can I use your bathroom? Wow, Darth Vader wanted to use our bathroom. I was speechless. It's kind of an emergency, he added. Yeah, sure, I told him. The bathroom is down the hall to the right. Thanks, he replied. I might be in there for a while, if you know what I mean. Darth Vader rushed down the hall to the bathroom and shut the door behind him. That was cool. In the Star Wars movies, Darth Vader never goes to the bathroom. In fact, nobody ever goes to the bathroom in the Star Wars movies. I guess they just hold it in. I don't even know if they have bathrooms on spaceships. Was that your friends at the door, sweetie? Called my mom. No, it was Darth Vader, I told her. He's in the bathroom. He told me it was an emergency. Gee, I hope he's okay, said my dad. Don't worry, said Mini Marty. I'm sure he'll be fine. After a few minutes, the doorbell rang again, It was my best friends, Ryan, Michael, and Neil. "Happy birthday, dude!" shouted Ryan, who will eat anything, even stuff that isn't food. "Happy birthday, dude!" shouted Michael, who never ties his shoes. "Happy birthday, dude!" shouted Neil, who we call the nude kid even though he wears clothes. Each of them handed me a present. I wanted to tear off the wrapping paper right away, but my mom told me to put the presents in the corner and we'd open them after the party was over. Bummer in the summer. A few minutes later, the doorbell rang again. It was Andrea and Emily. Ugh. "Happy birthday to you," they sang. "Happy birthday to you." Andrea and Emily had to sing the whole happy birthday song. They are so annoying. I told them they could go in the backyard. "What is Andrea doing here?" asked Neil. "I had to invite her," I explained. "My parents made me." "Ooh," Ryan said. "AJ invited Andrea to his birthday party. They must be in love." "When are you going to get married?" asked Michael. "If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them." "Where's Darth Vader?" asked Michael. "Yeah, I thought this was going to be a Star Wars party," said Ryan. "He's in the bathroom," I told them. "I better go check on him. You guys can go in the backyard." I went over to the bathroom door. "Are you okay in there, Mr. Vader?" I asked. "I'm just a little, blocked up," he replied. "I know what that means." Darth Vader was constipated. Grown-ups think the word constipated is disgusting, so they say blocked up instead. Nobody knows why. "You should use the Force," I suggested. "Very funny," Darth Vader replied. "Leave me alone." The doorbell rang again. There were a bunch of people outside. Alexia, Mr. Klutz, my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, Mr. Cooper, and some of the other teachers from school. All of them brought presents. I'm glad I let my parents talk me into inviting so many people. The more people you invite to your party, the more presents you get. I led them all out to the backyard. Everyone stood around making chit-chat. Chit-chat is what you say when you don't have anything to talk about. I hate making chit-chat. Andrea started chit-chatting with my grandmother, and it took about 5 seconds for her to convince Grandma that she was the sweetest little girl in the world. Ugh. The party was already boring. I went over to Mr. Marty, who was chit-chatting with my dad. "What are we going to do?" I asked him. "Darth Vader is supposed to be teaching us how to use lightsabers, but he's in the bathroom. Nobody has anything to do. They're just standing around making chit-chat." "I'm sure Darth will be out any minute," said Mini Marty. "He's a professional. Just relax, talk to your friends, and stop worrying so much. It's your birthday." "Darth Vader should have more bran in his diet," said my mom, who thinks everybody should have more bran in their diet. "No, he needs more fiber," said Mr. Klutz. "Fiber keeps you regular." "And fruit," added my dad. "You've got to eat a lot of fruit so you won't get blocked up." The grown-ups spent the next 5 minutes arguing about the best way to prevent constipation. It was a chit-chat snooze fest. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. But I'm not going to tell you what it was. Okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter. So na boo on you. Chapter 5. A Lucky Mistake. Everybody was in the backyard. It was looking like my party was going to be the biggest disaster since the Titanic hit that iceberg. Everybody was standing around chit-chatting. Darth Vader was still in the bathroom. There wasn't anything to eat. The pizza guy wouldn't be there for an hour. Suddenly, there was a knocking sound on our backyard gate. "Who could that be?" asked my mom. "All the guests have arrived." "Maybe the pizza guy is here early," said my dad. But it wasn't the pizza guy. My mom and I opened the gate, and a guy was standing there. He had a painted white face, frizzy red hair, a red nose, giant shoes, and a silly costume with red polka dots all over it. He was carrying a big sack. It was a clown. Clowns are so creepy. I fell back in horror. "I'm Buffo the clown said. "You must be the birthday boy." "We didn't order a clown," my mom told him. "Mr. Marty sent me an email," Buffo the clown replied. "It said to be here at 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. "There must be some mistake," my mom said. Mr. Marty came running over. "Buffo," Minnie Marty said excitedly. "So good to see you. I'm so sorry. I must have emailed you by accident. But what a lucky mistake. I'm so glad you're here. Darth Vader is supposed to be entertaining the kids, but he's in the bathroom." "This is perfect," my mom said excitedly. "You saved the party, Buffo." Suddenly, I wasn't having a Star Wars party anymore. I was having a Buffo the Clown party. Oh well, that had to be better than a bunch of people standing around making chit-chat for hours. "Wait a minute," said Buffo. "Am I gonna get paid for this gig?" "Of course," replied Minnie Marty. "Don't worry about it." "Then let the Buffo the Clown show begin," announced Buffo. He ran into the middle of the backyard, honking a horn that was attached to his belt. "Hey kids," shouted Buffo. "Do you want to hear a joke?" "Yeah," we all shouted. "I can't hear you," said Buffo. Entertainers are always saying they can't hear you, even after you just shouted at them. They must need hearing aids. "Yeah," we all shouted louder. "What's black and white and red all over?" asked Buffo. "A newspaper," somebody shouted. "No," said Buffo. "An embarrassed nun," somebody shouted. "No." "A sunburned zebra," somebody shouted. "No," said Buffo. "It's a polar bear eating a penguin." "Oh, snap," said Ryan. Everybody laughed except Andrea, who said the joke was violent and inappropriate for children. I didn't think Buffo's joke was all that funny, but jokes always sound funnier when they're told by a guy in a clown costume. Buffo the Clown told a few more bad jokes. Then he juggled balls, played the kazoo, sang some silly songs, and made balloon animals for all of us. He was actually pretty entertaining, and he didn't even murder anybody, as far as I know. Maybe I should rethink my opinion of clowns. "Hey, Buffo the Clown is cool," said Ryan. "Great party, dude," Alexia told me. While Buffo was making a giant balloon hat for Andrea, there was a knock on the gate. "That must be the pizza guy," Neil shouted. "Yay!" yelled Michael. "I'm starved." But it wasn't the pizza guy. You'll never believe who was standing there when I opened the gate. It was another clown. "Who are you?" I asked. "I'm Giggles the clown," said the clown. "Are you the birthday boy? I got an email from Mr. Marty telling me to come to this address. I got a little lost on the way over. Sorry I'm late." "We already have a clown," I told him. "What?" shouted Giggles. "It's not Buffo the Clown, is it?" "Actually, it is." "I hate Buffo," muttered Giggles. He marched into the middle of the backyard, looking really angry. "Buffo!" shouted Giggles. "Giggles!" shouted Buffo. "So, we meet again," said Giggles. We're going to have a problem here, Buffo announced. There can't be two clowns at the same party. That must be the first rule of being a clown. We didn't invite any clowns, said my dad. But Buffo and Giggles weren't paying attention. They just glared at each other like two wild animals in the jungle. I told you to stay out of my territory, Giggles, said Buffo. This is my party, and this is the second time this month you tried to steal my gig. It's my gig, replied Giggles. Mine, mine. They went on like that for a while. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Giggles tried to punch Buffo, but he missed and fell on the ground. It was actually pretty funny. Everybody laughed. Then Giggles got up and squirted Buffo in the face with a fake flower. Oh, I get it, said my grandma. They do a comedy clown act. How charming. It's adorable, said my mom. That's what we all thought. But then Buffo took a swing at Giggles and socked him hard, right in the jaw. Giggles staggered backward, holding his mouth. Then he charged at Buffo and wrestled him to the ground. Clown fight, shouted Michael. Giggles and Buffo started rolling around on the grass, shouting and grabbing each other. I don't approve of this violence, said Andrea. What do you have against violins? I asked her. Not violins, Arlo. Violence.